No.
Hello.
Hello?
Hello. What's up, bro?
Hey, it's the What's Up Bro podcast. We talk movies, sports, TV shows, pop culture, and it's funny, motherfuckers. With Nery signs. I'm like, what? How can this... They have Photoshop. Photoshop exists when this artist rendition was done. How the fuck is this not cooler looking than a sketch that looks like it was done by a hillbilly off the side of the road? What the fuck are we talking? Why is this a thing?
So you're telling me there's a chance?
With Missy.
Just let me finish my thought before you fucking interrupt me. Wrong room to ask questions.
Welcome to the party, pal!
And Mike Markadal.
I'm just glad I like vanilla, boring sex like this. I'm glad that the sex I enjoy won't get me killed.
That's how winning is done.
Hey, I'm Dave Chappelle, and this is What's Up, Bro.
All right. Sorry, I was posting. It took me a little bit because I was posting it on the Facebooks. I was sharing that we were going.
Hi, everybody. If you're watching from Facebook, we are.
Thank you. Thank you for the welcome to the What's Up Bro podcast. I am Nery Spines. With me, as usual, is Missy.
Hello.
And Michael.
Hello.
And we are live on Facebook, and we are live on the YouTubes.
Why don't we have Twitch yet? We should do Twitch too.
I don't have a Twitch account to link it up to.
That?
You just gotta. It's free.
Oh no, that's a Switch.
I'm not saying that it's not free. I'm just saying I don't have one.
We'll do it on mine. I'll give you my.
Well, we should do a WuBro Twitch, right?
Well, it sounded like you were not wanting to do it, and that was.
I just don't know if our people go, our Twitch people, our listeners.
Oh, but we need to get some new people,
Guys.
The young and hip people who are abandoning Twitch for whatever the next thing is already. That's what we got to stay on the cutting edge.
I have breaking news about Tiger Woods.
What?
And his car crash.
Is he on Twitch?
No. But remember he was in a car crash like a month ago?
Right.
Yes, he was.
Okay, so they made a real big stink about making sure that they said that it wasn't alcohol related, and that was very suspicious to me, because why does that matter if it, like, just say it once and that's it? TMZ is reporting that the investigators determined the crash cause, but they won't release reports citing privacy. That motherfucker was high.
I guarantee you he was. This was in Florida, right?
No,
of course.
No, it's not. No, it wasn't California. It was
in California, because he has a home down here too.
He has a home everywhere.
Everybody.
Yeah, that's true.
Everywhere there's a Waffle House, Tiger Woods is there.
It's a waffle home. Have you ever been to Waffle House? Waffle House is fucking great.
It's so good.
It's great.
You feel as if you're at home if your home was in a shady part. Like if your home was in a shady part of town and it could get robbed at any minute.
I'm off the show, man. I will not stand to have Waffle House disparaged.
I'm sorry, Waffle House is
anything
delicious.
I'm a part of.
Waffle House is delicious, but every time I walk in there, I'm like, I feel as if something either just went down or something is about to go down.
Either way, what an adventure! What an adventure!
What a way to go, though! Like
food is delicious.
I want that to be my last meal.
Dinner and a show, dinner for breakfast and a show. You should be like, I'm sorry, breakfast for dinner.
Remember that guy that stopped a shooter in the Waffle House?
Yes, a hero. I don't remember his name, but I do know he's a hero.
I remember that. Yeah, man.
Yeah.
God bless Waffle House. God bless the people hiding Tiger Woods' drunken car accident.
Go to rehab, sir.
It's funny because she did say that. Like there was like, they were like saying, and she goes, "I don't believe that." I'm like, "Believe what?" She's like, "Yeah, he's sober." I'm like, "Why not?" I was just asking out of curiosity, and she goes, "Because they said it like 5 times."
Yeah.
And it was the day of the accident. She's like, "They only said it like 5 times."
It's like when you're talking to a guilty partner and you're like, "Who's calling? What do you care?" It's like, "Why are you acting guilty?" Like, relax.
Have
To
you
be
ever
your
done this?
mom?
Have you ever been drinking and then you go drive and then you're driving somewhere and you
No.
see a cop and you pull next to him like, hey, and you start waving at him like, I'm not drunk, officer.
Never. Are you
Never.
crazy?
I've done that.
First of all, I don't believe either one of you have ever driven drunk. Let's start there.
I legit have done that. I legit was so drunk
In
one time.
1998,
No, it was like probably 2010 ish.
get
That
out of here.
recently? Really? I
Yeah,
have a whole
Recently,
lot-
that's 10 years,
2021?
11 years ago.
2021, sir.
No, but I thought you didn't drink for like.
I don't.
for-
I'm not a. First of all, I'm not a drinker. People misunderstand.
Neither
when
am
I say
I.
I don't drink. When I say I don't drink, it just means I'm not a drinker. It doesn't mean I've never had a drink. Doesn't mean
That's
that I
true.
will never take a drink. It doesn't mean.
One time we had a drink at Applebee's. I
Yeah,
was there.
Fair.
doesn't mean like. And I'm not. And I don't put my nose up at anybody who does drink. And I don't think I'm better than anybody. I have to give that disclaimer because people always did that. Oh, I fucking saw you take a shot at tequila once. I'm like, okay, like that's fine.
I understand
All right,
that. I understand that.
That's
Yeah,
fine.
I'm just
Um,
my impulse was to think that you just don't drink anymore. And then when you said like 2010, I was like, I knew you then.
That's 11 years ago, Mike. No, I actually think it's probably longer than that. If I'm trying to remember,
Can
I'm
we
trying
not
to
do the
remember.
math? Because I don't want to get sad. You know what I mean?
I want to say maybe 2006. I started doing comedy in 2003, so maybe 2000.
Well,
Five,
the point being is that it's
I
been
drove
a
up next to the
long.
fucking cop and waved at him like, "Hey, what's up?"
That's
Like just
stupid.
because yes,
Why
I
would
was
you get
drunk.
his attention?
I was drunk, Missy. I don't know if you fucking aware of that, but the first thing that goes when you're drunk is your judgment.
First of all,
Literally, scientifically, it's your
I
fucking
love how
judgment.
you're talking to me about what happens when you get drunk.
But you're asking sober me, like, why would you do that? I don't know, because I was fucking drunk.
Drunk Missy
Sober
would
me.
never.
if
Drunk
I'm
Missy
being
would
fair-
never be like, "Oh, there's a cop. Let me say hi to him."
I think
Bitch,
sober
act
you would do
normal.
it too.
Go
Sober you would do it too. You drive up to a cop and you just be like,
Go to my
hey,
to my website. It's whatwashisname.com.
am I drunk or am I not? You'll never know.
And to be fair, I wasn't even drunk. I was hungover.
Oh, that doesn't
And I was
count.
like,
I have
Yeah.
driven hungover many times. That is very different.
And I was like, hey, I'm fine. I'm fine.
That is
Everything's
okay.
fine.
Going back to the Waffle House, that
Mhm.
has those mornings when you wake up somewhere and you're just like, blah, and you're just like, your mouth feels like you've been eating fucking dirt, and or like you're just like full of, your eyes are so swollen that you can't see, like all
So
of that shit.
great. You guys are making me
Throat's so
sound
dry.
really bad.
The hungover drive is the one shining beacon of light is the McDonald's drive-through.
Egg McMuffin with a Diet Coke.
Yes.
Thank you very much.
Yes, because it's for sure got breakfast ready. You get so like
And everything's fresh.
For sure got breakfast ready. There's like every fast food restaurant in the morning.
no, because
sure has
No.
breakfast
No.
ready.
Nothing
It-
cures a hangover like McDonald's breakfast.
we're spoiled now, but the 24-hour McDonald's things, those are recent developments. The breakfast all day is a recent development. And then if you weren't someone that had an early morning stuff, you would miss out on the morning.
Can I just tell you something? The two McDonald's by my house, both of them stopped serving breakfast all day.
There's one.
Recently.
There's more than one.
Some of them have stopped. Yes.
And I was like, whoa.
yeah.
I'm
How
fucking
dare
here.
you.
I'm fucking here at 3:00 in the afternoon, and I want my fucking breakfast burrito.
It's because of COVID. It's
Get
not
off.
personal.
No, but yeah, this was recent. COVID started last March. Let's get our shit together, McDonald's.
Oh
Let's get
my
our shit
God.
together. So for 11 and a half fucking months, you're gonna be like, okay, breakfast all day, it's okay. But all of a sudden now, nah.
This is like, clearly this is all before, what is it? Hangover Drive is regret on
Hi, Fire Senior. We love you.
Yeah,
That is, then you get through the McDonald's drive-through. There's the moment of like, I remember when they first introduced the McGriddle, and I was the first time I ever had a McGriddle.
Every hangover. That
The first time I ever had a McGriddle, I was hungover as balls.
do they still have that?
Yeah,
I haven't seen it on the menu in a long time.
I guess they have it up here. I've seen it,
It's in
but
the secret menu, probably.
guess. And man,
Did you
I
see my
remember the
face
first.
light up? She said secret menu, and I was like, oh shit! Like I was like,
There is like off the menu
no,
shit.
I was like super happy. I was like, oh shit, maybe I could ask for it.
There was a recent like buzz, a New York City buzz of like there was a McDonald's or a Wendy's. It was a Wendy's in the Bronx, I think, that made a chopped cheese out of the burgers there. Do you know what a chopped cheese is? Have you ever had a chopped cheese?
No
The
clue.
It's basically just like like if you go to a sandwich place, Hungry Bear has one that is like a cheeseburger sub, but they chop up the meat
I don't,
on
even know
the.
what I don't even know what a Hungry Bear is.
What?
You never been to Hungry Bear?
No.
Oh my god, Hungry
Okay.
Bear is one of the best sub places down there, and I
Virgin.
still remember it. But
It's so good.
but a chopped cheese is where they chop up the meat and they make it into like a hero, like a sub sandwich.
So Philly cheese.
Somewhat, but it's not that. It's ground beef, not that sliced, not sliced beef. And there was like a buzz because someone went to Wendy's and like it was like, yo, give me a chopped cheese because it's a super New York thing. And they made it and they put it on like YouTube or TikTok or some shit, and people lost their minds. And everyone wants to go now to order like a fast food and it's really just a chopped up burger sandwich in a sub, but
Hey,
it's fucking good.
Can you move the camera so that you're censored? Because
I'm sorry, I'm leaning over because I'm very comfortable because I'm hanging out with my friends. I missed
Let's get to some comments here. Patrick says hi.
you. Hey, what's up?
Hey, Patrick.
Vanessa says hi. Vanessa also says Waffle House is the tits.
It's
Wow.
and up there where her family is now. There's a lot more Waffle Houses than there are down
Yeah, but
here.
they have Bojangles up there. Have you ever had Bojangles?
Ooh, I've
We
only
have
had it
Bojangles
once.
down here.
No, there isn't.
Yeah, on the way to Orlando, there's Bojangles. The Hungover Drivers are good on wheels.
no.
Read that. Stephanie said, moving to Australia, there's this thing called the halal snack
Halal.
pack. That is the cure. Fries
Yes.
piled with meat and cheese plus toppings.
Yeah.
Wait. You need to clarify this, Stephanie, because the plus toppings, because everything you mentioned, the meat and cheese to me sounds like toppings. So what you're saying is it has meat and cheese and then toppings.
Like
Yes.
sour cream.
Yeah, like that white sauce and like hot sauce and shit like that. The halal cart is the most New York thing. It's like replace the hot dog cart for
What's
me.
halal?
It's a it's a Muslim blessed. It's a halal is like it's okay for Muslim people to eat. It's been blessed. It's like it's like kosher, but for Muslim people. There's
Kosher
halal and haram or something like that, where it's like against and you like it's bad and then there's good. Halal is like Muslim kosher food where it's like you're allowed to eat it. So it's like lamb and chicken and stuff like that. And then it's like what they make like gyros and they do it halal.
Can you give a better description of what?
So, according to the Oxford American Dictionary, halal is denoting or relating to meat prepared as prescribed by Muslim law. He just said it.
Yeah, I fucking said it.
All right.
And they have the
Stephanie
carts.
says
Hungry Bear.
Hungry is the best.
It is.
Broken diets for the pastrami subs.
Oh, I've broken diets because it's 11 a.m. So good on you.
Diet, that means nothing to me. Like that's like it's like
You should go. I would love to see you guys.
We're going
guys
this
have to
weekend.
go.
We're going
Yeah.
this weekend. We're going this weekend.
You guys should do it.
yeah, it's my last weekend before my third baby comes.
Woohoo!
Oh yeah, that's right. Do you have a name and everything picked out, or are you keeping
course.
it all secret?
No. I mean, I don't know if we're telling people. I don't know. I mean, I'm sure my wife would chime in. I don't know if we're telling people publicly, like on the air, but we're telling our friends and family.
Oh, if you weren't a bitch, you'd do it before she says you can.
Oh no, I'm fine with that. I'm okay with that.
Michael!
Yeah.
Oh my god!
I just want to start trouble. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
I just
I've
want to
been-
start
I've
trouble.
been there
I-
twice in the past 3 days. You don't need to stir anything up.
but you don't understand. I'm 40 in September. Like that doesn't work. Like what kind of shit? I'm like, what?
You're not Marty. You're Marty McFly in Back to the Future 3.
Yeah. What are you
Yeah.
chicken? I'm like, I don't. What
yeah.
the fuck does that mean?
I made myself laugh with that one.
Yeah, I
I
was just
laughed.
like, I don't.
Did I
You know-
not? Did I not laugh?
No,
out
it's
loud?
just it's tickling me more.
Oh, I see.
I did this thing. I was hanging out with this guy one time at when I had a day job and years upon years ago, and he was having his wife was pregnant with their first child, and you know he was like our age, like 30, like maybe 31 or something like that, and he was having his first kid, And I go, hey, do you want to go? I invited him somewhere, and he goes, oh, I can't because I have my daughter's gonna be born like in 3 days after that, so I have to get shit ready, whatever. And I looked at him and I go, you're so fucking whooped. So whooped. And he froze and he was like, what? And I was like,
I'm having a baby.
Yeah, he's like, I'm having a baby. Like, what?
Well,
This
I
is
was
an
just
actual life thing, not it's not stop being a pussy. Look, Vanessa still hasn't chimed in whether or not I can say that baby's name.
well, I was there. I
Do
was
it.
just there.
Say it.
I was just there 2 hours ago, and Nery, like, I walked in, and Nery was like in the middle of building the stroller, and the
Mhm.
house was like the living room was a catastrophe, and I was like, "This is a lot of work. Are you sure you guys want to do this again?" And Vanessa goes, "Fuck this baby."
Yeah.
I also love the idea of like at this stage, you're like, can you guys just like undo? Can you?
Oh, I literally said that. I was like, I would press reset right fucking now. Like this.
But
Like,
you can't. She's
I can't.
coming.
This is all recorded in perpetuity. This child
We
is gonna
love
find
you,
this.
baby.
Oh yeah. Bro, with the amount of material that I'm planning to make fun of this baby like from here, like this is gonna
You're
be the
such
minimum.
an asshole.
I imagine
This
that.
is, hey, hold on. I want to address this because as a comedian, I make fun of the things that are closest to me. If I don't give a fuck about you, I would never fucking talk.
That's
Give
true.
you
That is your love language.
That is my love language. So to me, would never like if I don't care about things, people go like, why don't you talk about fucking religion in your act? I'm like, because I don't really care enough about it to bring it up in my act. I don't.
Right. It's not important.
It's not important to me. And by important to me, I mean it's not important enough for me to bring it up. Right. Same. So if I bring it up, that means I love you. And there's gonna be mountains of material that she's gonna be like, man, this fucking guy really. I did a number on this guy's life, which is, to be fair, my father-in-law, like to this day, I don't know. I don't think he brings it up as much as we bring it up. At least I do. I bring it up a lot. He was on his way to go buy a boat when he found out that my wife, his firstborn, was going to be coming. Like when he found out that his wife was pregnant with their first child, which is my wife, he was on the way to buy a boat. And then he found out that he was pregnant, and he was like, and then he couldn't buy that boat. So I bring that shit up all the fucking time. Like, imagine having a boat. Imagine having a boat right now.
Oh man. Oh, put that thing up that Vanessa put.
She said, Uno reverse card this baby.
Yeah.
Which is a bunch of bullshit because the other day she was super sad that in 5 days or in 6 days I won't be pregnant anymore, and then this is like it's so that
I'll never understand that. There's such a swing that back and forth.
You're just trying to survive at this point. Just ride the waves.
I don't do that. I don't fucking do that. I rock the fuck out of this boat and try to see where it lands me. I don't give a shit.
Death. I think death isn't fun.
I don't play this safety game. Look, I like the fact that she's commented twice and yet still hasn't said whether or not I can say the baby's name.
She doesn't want you to interpret the silence.
I'm not interpreting nothing.
Well, then say the name. I dare you. Say it.
It's like you say things with words, not with silence.
Yeah. Say it.
That's true.
Don't say it. I want you to live. Don't say it.
I'm joking, but okay. So let's change the subject. Who's got their shots?
I got my first shot.
You both got your first shot. Okay.
Yeah, I have 2 weeks until my next one.
How did you feel?
So excited.
Yeah.
Did
you have any side effects?
No side effects.
Moderna or Pfizer? Moderna, Pfizer.
Dolly Parton, baby.
I got Pfizer.
Dolly Parton.
Yeah, the Moderna. She's the one that she donated like $1 million for the Moderna vaccine.
Oh, you got so you have
Nery got the Pfizer. I got Moderna.
The Pfizer gang, baby. That's right.
Bang bang.
That's gonna be the new like Bloods and the Crips. There's gonna be like you Pfizer, Moderna. Like you have to wear a different color.
Mike, are you gonna get your card laminated, or are you too cool?
Oh, are people doing that?
Yes, Office Depot is doing it for free.
I mean, I don't care about. I mean, I have it. I'm just pissed.
That's so stupid.
I'm just pissed. No. I mean, it's fine if people do it, but I'm just mad because it's not the same size as a credit card, and I can't fit it in my fucking wallet. So I have to carry this loose thing around. And so now I have it stuck in my passport because I guarantee you that's going to be a thing.
Oh yeah, for sure. I
Yeah.
hope. I think it should be.
Yeah.
I hope. And true to form, not to get political, but true to form, the governor of Florida just recently said that he's trying to pass administrative what's that fucking thing called? Executive whatever fucking thing.
Order, yeah,
Executive
legislative
order, not allowing businesses to demand that their employees or whatever the fuck have a vaccines.
I hate
So
it.
he's
here.
trying to block the fact that businesses are going to be like, if you want to come in here, you have to have a vaccine.
I hate
Businesses, not like a bakery. Businesses are like, hey, this is
airlines.
there's airline, there's a cruise ship. If you want to fucking go on a cruise for 7 days and be bottled up with the same 2,000 people,
Yeah,
you probably
it's
get a vaccine.
I hate
And he's
it.
like, no, I'm going to pass this executive order. And I'm like, why are you being stupid?
because
Florida.
it's a political thing. If
He's got bills to pay.
it's the same reason that Republican senators are now like, yeah, look at how much money is going to businesses for the stimulus relief and all of this stuff. It's like, motherfuckers, you guys voted against it. Like, we can see you. Like, we can see you. You know, it's the same reason they want credit for something, and then if it is anything political, they know they're going to get shot down. You know what I mean? And if it's anything like that is quote unquote Democrats or liberals are supporting it, the only play they have now is to just be against it, and then everyone's just like, yeah, fuck that and fuck you, and like there's nothing.
My arm hurt. My arm hurt after for the next day. My arm was hurting.
You got a shot.
Yeah. And so that was about it. I woke up with the pain. Like I sleep. I'm a side sleeper. When I went on the side of where I got the shot, I was like, I literally was like, ow. Like, I woke up like, ow. Okay.
Well, he called me and he yelled at me. He's like, you told me it didn't hurt. I'm like, it did.
Jeff got Moderna.
Moderna mob, Pfizer gang.
Jeff.
Yolanda. Oh, Pfizer.
Yeah.
Anymore.
I love her so much.
Yolanda is the best.
Oh man, I love her so much.
100%
Moderna
Yolanda.
mob, Pfizer gang.
Yeah.
Do you know anyone who got the Johnson & Johnson, the one-shot killer?
Yes, I do. Q got it. My friend Q. She was beat to shit the next day, and I think for half a day after that, but she's fine now.
You'll feel it the second shot. You'll get it the second shot.
I don't care. It's fine. I just want this part to be over. I'm already planning. I've already got 2 vacations on the mind.
So I had a day job for like a hot minute there. And it was like just like a part-time bullshit, like under the table, like, hey, can you help me out with shit, right? But I was working for a doctor, and not like a real, it was like an eye doctor, it's not a real thing. And then they because we're talking about vaccines, I don't want to make it seem as if there were internal
like an immunologist or something.
Yeah, I don't want to make it seem as if they were whatever. So she got the Johnson & Johnson on Sunday and immediately texted me like, I feel like shit. And I was thinking, oh, well, guess what? I'm not going in tomorrow. No. She went in and she felt really, really bad the next day. Ironically, that was the last day that I was at that job.
Jesus.
But it had nothing to do with that. But my whole point is that she was feeling
It's like, no, I'm just bad at my job. That's the
no, I was fuck that. Like like it's so weird. It's so weird. The shit that you take pride in when you're almost 40. You're like, no, I was really fucking good at that. And I was really good at taking phone calls and making appointments. No, but she felt really, really like she was like really feeling it that day, Sunday, and then the next day she was still feeling bad.
I can't remember. I got my first shot like way early, like way back in December. And then I got the second shot in January, and I don't remember whether or not like it was real. Like it must not have been bad, but I was also like tired all the time now. Like I am tired.
But you
all the
had
time
COVID.
Now. Yes,
like the real one.
Yeah, I had.
How long?
I
did
guess
you
that
have
is
it?
also like a brag too. Where it's like
it's a weird flex.
A weird flex.
Well, how long were you sick with COVID?
It's hard to say because I still have stuff from it. Like,
oh yeah.
Yeah. I felt sick. I felt like I had a fever and trouble breathing, like genuinely for like 3 days, 4 days. And then I've had like a month afterwards, I would have moments where I couldn't catch my breath. And then I had like stuff after that that has come up because of COVID with like my heart or lungs, but I haven't really done any full like lung exams yet because it's also no. It's nothing like that. It's like it's also because of the amount of inactivity, like so much more sedentary, the lack of exercise, the lack of I used to walk so much because I was walking all over New York when I was doing anything. You have to walk everywhere. So the amount of like inactivity was definitely something that may be contributing to that, but also like there are still moments where I'll have trouble catching my breath.
I think it's so weird.
I have the same problem too, but it's probably because I'm fat.
Yeah.
So
I'm not denying that I've gained weight during COVID.
No, I've gained so much weight. Like it's one of those things where this is my weird flex when people go, "Oh, it's the COVID-15." I'm like, I see you're 15, and I raise you another 45, motherfucker.
Yeah.
Your fucking game up. 15, step your fucking game up, motherfucker. 15 was when I was still baking banana bread the first month of that.
Banana bread was so good though.
It was a delicious thing, but I was like,
and the cinnamon rolls. Oh, that was a good time. Good time.
I wouldn't know. I didn't get any because
don't worry, we're shipping you a care package for real.
Oh, for real?
Yeah,
Nery has my address.
Energy for a long time.
Oh my god.
Some energy drink.
Anyways, so yeah, man. It was
no, thank you.
Too bad.
No, please, no.
Hilda, I mean, here we got some comments in. Hilda says Sean and I both got Johnson and Johnson.
One shot killers.
Hilda, I don't know who you are. Welcome to the show.
That's the board game.
Yeah, we're friends on Instagram now.
I know her as her moniker.
Tabletop gamer girl.
Tabletop. Yeah,
She's awesome.
Sorry. She is awesome. She commented on one of my posts.
We're friends on Instagram, so
Hilda, can you tell us? You put thumbs up. I'm assuming that you felt okay after the Johnson and Johnson. I'm just curious. And
I mean, it's granted that the most common side effect is feeling like you have a fever for a day. Like you just like that's pretty much what everyone is describing, that it just like knocks you the fuck out.
Well, the person that I knew that got it said that she had all the symptoms of COVID like in a day. Like she had all of them. She felt that she had not just a fever, but the extreme body aches. She said that her legs felt like somebody beat her legs up. And then she couldn't breathe, and like she had all of them accelerated. So
yeah, I can't wait. Like make me feel like I want to get like I just want to get to the second shot because
and then because I can't tell you, like a lot of people are feeling it now because it was hard to describe it when I got my second shot, but there's like this feeling of relief of like cathartic, like where you're just like, oh, thank you, where you can unclench a little bit because suddenly you're like, I feel safe to be around. And it's been weird for me because I've been safe for a long time, but it's all you motherfuckers that have been dangerous. So I've been like, okay, now that I'm vaccinated, now what? Okay.
Didn't you go on an epic road trip? Can you tell us about that? Because you did make a video and you're like, no more driving.
Oh yeah.
What happened?
I drove over 5,000 miles in like a weekend, in like a week and a half. I drove from Tennessee, from New York to Virginia, Virginia to Tennessee, Tennessee to Miami, one shot. Then because it was originally going to be this just random road trip where I was just going to drive where people told me. I would like just camp wherever. And I was just going to be a nomad, just wander.
Spontaneous.
But I felt super guilty because I had the means to go see my family. I had the car. So then I went to go see my dad. And if I go see my dad, I got to go see my mom. So like,
so you saw Yolanda in real life?
Yes, I did. I hugged her and everything. Yolanda and my dad. Both.
We're like, you're talking about your dad. I'm like, yeah. Yolanda.
Yolanda.
You met her in real life.
Yeah.
We used to have her at that where like The Rock and then run.
Yolanda, when I was there, she made pastelitos de guayaba y queso. Like she figured out a way to make them with like Pillsbury dough or I don't know about Pillsbury dough, but like that like pre-bought dough. And then she used like guayaba and cream cheese.
I would like to
and she
formally
made. I don't know why I'm doing all of this shit with my hands, but she like
it's
split it up.
visual effects.
Yeah.
I would like to formally request Yolanda as a Facebook friend.
Yeah,
because I need
go.
her in my life.
Add her up.
Nary and I were talking about something earlier, and I was like, you know what? We should bring this to Yolanda, but we're not on the air, but definitely would bring it up to her for sure.
Sure. Pastry sheets. That's what it is. I see her comment. Pastry sheets.
All right, so Hilda says that they felt super crazy tired about 12 hours later, and she had chills for one night. Both of them, her and her husband, had a bit of a headache, but that was it. All good after that.
Awesome.
Sounds
That's
like
great to
the
me.
common.
Mayor Senior says, when my parents got it, I started
Aw.
bawling at 4 a.m. out of relief.
What's it like to like your parents?
She's also just had
Don't make it about you.
I'm also sure that her hormones were a little,
Yeah.
like in the morning.
No, but I got emotional too. Like my mom got her first shot. My mom got her, or now she's all yeah. I think my mom has both her shots. My brother got his shot. The process is developing, and it's exciting. Like it's emotional. It's for real.
When I got emotional, My wife sent me a link. I don't remember when exactly, but she sent me a link where, when it was just still the elderly getting their shots, and she was like, "Hey, for your parents, you may want to set up an appointment for your parents." And I was like, "My parents already had both their shots." And then she was like, "Really?" And I was like, "Yeah." And she's like, "Well, fucking hey, go ahead, abuelito. She's like, "Congrats," you know what I mean? But the fact that my parents had the whereabout to be like, these are people that still need my help ordering shit from Amazon.
Yeah.
And the fact that they were still able to get that to me,
cool.
That moment was a cool moment where I was like, not the moment they got it, because I was glad they got it. I'm like, oh, okay, I'm glad you got it. But the fact that my wife was like, hey, you know what I mean? The fact that she thought about my parents, that was cool. And
that's
then,
cool.
And then the fact that I was like, they already got it. And then we were both kind of surprised. She's like, really?
Yeah.
It's the same people that they need your help.
Rotate a PDF for me, motherfucker.
These people they don't know what a PDF is, much less rotate one.
Oh man. But yeah, so I drove like crazy. That was one of the only reasons I actually was like cool with going down there, because I knew that they were like getting protected, And then so I went to go see my dad. I hung out there for a little while, lit a campfire. Their house is awesome. It's by this lake. It's super dope. We ate. I saw my youngest brother and his wife. She's like a PhD. She got into she's getting into a PhD program that they're paying for in literature and English and Gothic something or other. I don't know. It's super specific, but so yeah, real big moment. Congratulations to them and
that's awesome.
I'm so trained by 90s hip hop. The moment you said PhD, I'm like, play a hidden degree.
You gotta play a hidden degree. Yeah.
Sure.
And then I drove all the way down to Miami in one day. That's fucking.
How long
brutal.
was that drive?
Like 16 hours. And then it's one thing to I've done that drive a bunch of times but it was like when I was going home, right? Like I was just like, I can stop driving now. But I knew that I had to make that drive and then drive all the way back to New York. Knowing that, it was like, mother.
Why didn't you turn in the car and just fly back?
Oh, that would have cost me like $1,000. The one way renting a car is fucking expensive.
Oh, really?
Not always. I do that all the time when I drive.
I mean, in that case, I'm sure he says $1,000. I feel like he looked into it.
No, but it's not always. It could be, but it depends on the company. It's a whole thing. But I've done it. There's been sometimes. I remember when I first looked into it, I was like, "Oh, that's a crazy amount of money. I'm not doing that." But then there are other times where they were like, "Yeah, we could do that. It's an extra $50," and I was like, "Oh, fuck yeah!"
I asked. So when I called, because I also fucked up and I didn't get the tolls. I just paid the toll bill. In tolls alone, it was like $228. That's how much I drove. And the tolls in New York are fucking expensive.
Yeah.
Super.
And then so I drove all the way down, hung out with my mom and my brother, went out on the boat. It was super nice. I did all of the things that I could do to get, going. I stopped at a friend's house on the way back in St. Pete, and then I stopped at a friend's house in South Carolina. And then I drove the rest of the way home. And it was like, I had that itch to get on the road. I still have it somewhat, but I'm also like, I'm good for a little while. I'm all right. I don't want to drive anymore. I get on the train and I'm like, oh, I'm traveling without paying attention. Cool.
The only reason why I want to go to Asheville is because I have like an entire 5 days of driving planned for myself. So maybe Asheville, North Carolina. Have you ever?
You're driving to Asheville? No, my friend told me about it.
I'm flying there. So last year in November, I impulse bought a plane ticket and a rental, and then I chickened out because.
Well,
Corona.
right when it was approaching, they had a huge outbreak.
Yes, it was around. It was for Thanksgiving. I had planned it ahead for Thanksgiving week, and then the cases spiked, so I canceled it.
Yeah.
So now that literally 2 weeks after my second shot, I'm having, my boss has to approve my time off, but I want to go for like 5 days, and I have like I have a Dodge Challenger.
Oh, that's cool.
Reserved, and I just want to fucking drive by myself and just.
Man, Florida sucks. Driving in Florida sucks.
It's a long fucking state. It's the trip from still in fucking Florida.
Yeah,
dude.
from Tennessee to Miami, half of it was Florida.
Yeah,
like half of it. It was fucking exhausting.
The only reason
boring. You're just like,
part of the appeal to move out of state is because outside of like Texas and California, literally any other state that you move to, like you can make a weekend trip out of visiting another state and coming right back. And you can't do that if you're, especially like if you were in Florida, but you're like in St. Augustine or Jacksonville, that's different. But we're in Miami.
But even then, like South Georgia sucks too. Like South Georgia, my friend described it. It's just onions and dirt. And I was like, it was.
But even then, if you lived in Jacksonville, the bad thing is you live in Jacksonville.
Yeah.
So
well,
I've been to Jacksonville. It's nice.
St. Petersburg was very nice. St. Petersburg was very nice. St. Augustine is cool, but only that part that's touristy, and then the rest of it is Central Florida. And then
I drank out of the Fountain of Youth, and I was like, I rather get old.
Well, then you didn't need the vaccine. You're cured of all. What do you need? What are you worried about?
I want to get to some comments. Comments. So Yolanda says that she said it was pastry sheets, and then she said that she's Cuban by injection.
Mm-hmm. Yes, that is the running joke in my family. They are very sexually open, and then I have to make heaving noises as like my response. Where anytime they say anything sexual, I'm like,
where's she from without the injection?
Without the injection. What are you without the injection?
Can't be white. Her name is.
That just means she's got Cuban antibodies, is what it means. That's all it means.
Hilda says that she got super emotional, and about 3 weeks after getting her shot, she got to hug her sister for the first time in a year.
I can't even wait.
Yeah, I will get emotional having to hug my sister. Just an easy joke. I'm kidding, Norma. Jesus, take it easy. 70 says, be prepared. I will be recording the day I finally get to see my parents again.
Oh, yeah.
Tears are incoming.
We will cry with you, friends. God, I miss her.
Hilda says that they're all vaccinated now, so game night next time you're driving through.
Nice.
If I had been going up, because I went through St. Petersburg, because I'd gotten offers like of where to crash, like to stop in between. I thought about going to Orlando. If I had more time, I would have literally just done a weird solo weirdo Disney day, where I would have just gone by myself. I would have been that one guy alone at Disney World, just to be fucking weird.
Trust me, there's not one guy. There's a lot of guys.
Really?
Yeah.
Is it not? Is it? I think it's weird as fuck to do that.
I don't want to do that. I don't think
it's weird. I don't think it's weird, but I'm the guy that pre-COVID, whenever I would go to a different city, when I was doing comedy at a different city,
right,
I would go to the movies by myself all the fucking time.
The movies is not Disney World. I go to the movies all the time here.
Time out. Okay. There are a lot of people that always gave me a fucking look. Not at the movies. I'm talking about when I would tell them. They were like, "You go to the movies?" But like people would always. This is pre-COVID. Nowadays, everybody goes by themselves everywhere because they're fucking fine. But and my wife and I have been going to Disney. We went to Disney's Mickey's Not So Scary Christmas years before we had children. Years in costume.
But that's a couple. Couple. You're not alone.
Shut it up.
You're not alone. I don't care. I don't mind that.
Somebody that loves me. Haha. Shut up, Nery. Stop showing off.
What are you talking about? Somebody loves me. I was going with my wife. What are you talking about?
You're so stupid.
What are you talking about?
You're so
Take it
fucking
easy,
stupid.
man. And
Dummy.
so Stephanie says, watching Mike's road trip happen on social media, it felt like he was about to have his eat, pray, love.
I was about to fuck Julia Roberts. I didn't even know it.
Kirk says, "What's up, Senior Science? What's up, brother? How you doing, man?" And Yolanda says, "Air
Yeah.
Force brat."
Nice.
He was born in Swindon, England.
Swindon,
That's
England.
cool.
Disney is 22 minutes from her
I'm
That's
house.
what I
gonna move
was-
to Orlando.
That's what I was getting at.
I think.
Christy says that's her dream vacation, to go to Disney by herself. Is
Let
her
me
dream
tell you.
vacation.
She's
I'm telling you, like, I have no problem going to Disney by myself, to go dinner
I
by
haven't
myself.
done the Disney by myself, but dinner and a movie by myself like is amazing. I'm down.
I do that all
That's
the time.
one of the perks of being an introvert is like you're good with.
I'm
being
not an
by yourself.
introvert. I'm just a traveling comedian, and you're like,
I know you're not an introvert. You didn't have to say that, by the way. Just FYI.
I one of the reasons why I used to be really like cautious about that, of like, oh, I don't want to go to the movies by myself because it's weird. And then when I moved to New York, it was a big thing of like, I have a weird schedule anyway, you know, like my hospital schedule, like I'll have a random like weekday off with nothing going on. And I just started like, I'm like, you know what, fuck it, I'm just gonna go to the movies. And I've learned to do more and more things by myself up here. You know what I mean? Like you go to a diner, you sit at the diner, you eat, you talk to the people there. It's been, you know, like you go to I used to do this thing where I'd go to Buffalo Wild Wings and get wings to go and then take them into the movie theaters at noon. And there's nobody in there. It's just me eating my stinky ass fucking garlic Parmesan wings. You know,
but I feel like doing that stuff in New York is way more interesting than doing that in Miami.
You could take the Hispanic out of Miami, where you can never.
Oh yeah.
I mean,
I used to remember.
Hispanic I've ever heard in my life.
Did you do that at Dolphin Mall?
Do you? Yes, of course. Do you remember? I don't know if I've ever told this story, but I used to, when I was a little kid, my grandmother used to pick us up from school and take us to the movies where Palace 18 is now. It used to be called Galaxy 7.
First of all, Palace 18 hasn't been there for a long, long time.
Yeah, I don't know what it's called now.
It's AMC.
But whatever it is, that movie theater.
I mean, it is for now.
You know, who knows? That movie theater, like
HBO
we used to go.
Max. It's an HBO Max viewing center.
Yeah, that's what it is. And she used to take us there, and she used to bring like fucking Tupperwares of Cuban food, like Tupperwares of food. And like we would get so embarrassed, my brother, especially my older brother, because he was like in 8th grade, and it was like weird, you know, like where he's like he's thinking about what girls think about him. And you would open the thing up, and then it would just like permeate the smell of like arrojo picadillo everywhere. And then I think about that so much because now I'm the guy that's got like the big coat on with like fucking sandwiches and shit, like a 2-liter of whatever. And then I started doing the chicken wings thing, and I was like, oh, my grandmother would be so proud of me.
That's funny.
Yeah, I get the garlic Parmesan wings and the Asian zingers because they smell the most. They stink the most.
That's very nice of you.
I don't know. Like Stephanie says, she said, Nery, people gave you weird looks because we can't comprehend enjoying being alone with our thoughts. I don't know. I guess I don't know. Like I never had a problem being by myself. Like I love being around other people, but I have zero problems being by myself. When again pre-COVID, when I was working on cruise ships, and hopefully soon again, I would spend most of my days, 90% of my days, by myself in my cabin, by myself, either watching TV, playing video games. I'd go to the gym for an hour, but even then, headphones on. Like it's just a whole thing. Many a time I would go to the gym at midnight when it was technically closed, but because I was kind of sort of crew, I would go in there and work out when there's nobody else around. And then I enjoy being around other people. And then people come up to me during dinner and be like, oh, we saw your show. But I have zero problems in being by myself. Vanessa would like to know, what is being alone? Stephanie says that alone is a thing that happens when we pretend we're going to the bathroom for a really long time. That's adorable, Stephanie. Enjoy it, because as soon as he starts walking, that's not going to work either. Palace
18 forever.
Yeah, it's always going to be called Palace 18. It's always going to be called the Sears Tower. It's always going to be called Joe Robbie Stadium.
Yeah.
These are just things like You could change the name all you want. Land Shark Park, whatever the fuck you call it. I don't care.
Aren't they changing the American Airlines Arena to something else?
Yeah, they're calling it Bitcoin.net or some shit. I don't remember.
Yeah.
Some, like, fucking, it's some cryptocurrency people. It's not Bitcoin.
I mean, if they got the money for it, that's fucking fascinating. But I don't know.
It's all an electrical current.
How are we doing with our GameStop stock, everybody? Did everybody buy GameStop stock?
No, but I have AMC stock.
I have AMC stock. It's just chilling right now.
I have AMC. Wait, what else do I have?
I don't have any.
I'm right. I bought it when it was going up, so now I'm right at level, pretending like I know what the fuck I'm talking. Like I know what I'm doing. I have zero clue what I'm doing. I'm just sitting there, and I'm like, eventually, this is supposed to work. So here we go.
So I have AMC and Truly, which is a marijuana company. And
yeah.
There's something else that I don't know what it's called, but it's Hecla Mining. I don't know what that is.
Yeah, there you go. FTX Arena is what American Airlines was. Again, FTX is cryptocurrency. And then Martin's Park is now Lone Depot Stadium.
Did you guys see what Billy Corbin called it?
Yeah. And Jeff made sure to say none of the above comments are jokes.
Wow. I mean, FTX Arena sound, like it could be anything, FTX, but wow, that's funny.
Funny, like tragic.
Lone Depot is such a dumb name.
It's such a stupid fucking name. I hate it, Downey.
But here's the thing.
Lone Depot.
Here's the thing. The Marlins are ridiculous. So I'm like, I don't care. Like, who gives a fuck?
That whole thing is fucking ridiculous.
Stephanie says that's the most depressing thing I've read today, and I'm in lockdown. Why are you in lockdown?
Why is Australia in lockdown?
Are they in lockdown again?
You're in Australia, aren't you supposed to be like living life and like?
Don't even, man. They get to walk out without masks.
Yeah, aren't you supposed to be partying like it's 2019?
No, the reason why they're able to do that is because of how strict they are with the lockdowns when there is an outbreak. Like they literally shut shit down. Like it's like everything's open, and then like somebody starts coughing, and it's like shut it down, and then everything
like
closes down.
Like a Monsters Inc., they press that button and then they put a fucking dome around the sock and like, all right, yeah. That's the lockdown in Australia.
They fucking shit up in Australia. But yeah.
Hey, do we have a
I was just looking it up.
Am I the asshole? Am I the asshole? Yeah.
Yeah. I have it here. This was a long one that you sent.
They're
all long, aren't they?
Yeah. All right. So here we go.
Wait, hold on. Stephanie answered the question. She said Brisbane is on a snap 3-day lockdown because there was like 4 people in the entire state who got COVID. And if you've ever seen the map of Australia, Brisbane is massive. Mm-hmm. It's like the fucking size of Texas. Yeah. So when they say 4 people in Texas, imagine they say that 4 people in Texas got COVID and the entire state of Texas shut down. Imagine that fucking craziness.
Well,
I say craziness, I mean like crazy good. Like
I feel like when New Zealand opens its borders again, I might want to live there because they're doing everything right, and that's not Australia, but. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, they get very pissy when you compare them to Australia.
No, I'm not comparing them. I'm just saying that New Zealand has a good record so far.
I'm Stephanie. When I got airline miles. I'm going to visit. I'm going to stay with you and Dave.
I'm not trying to brag, but I already visited.
Oh my god.
Well, it's not a competition, Nery.
Oh yes, it is. Come on.
Yes, well, you went out and got to drive around. It was fucking great. I was jealous.
You own a car.
yeah, but I also have a wife and responsibilities and children. And also don't have money because I'm unemployed. Oh, so there's also that.
You have a car, you fucker.
The kids are your own damn fault. I'm not gonna give you sympathy for that shit. I'm sorry you lost your job, but fuck them kids. No, I'm kidding. I love your children. They're very sweet. I love Giggles.
They're funny. They're funny.
I was the one that christened Giggles. Come on. Okay. Am I the asshole? Did we do the theme thing? Yes.
Am I the asshole? Yeah.
Am I the asshole for not allowing my boyfriend's kids in my apartment?
Oh God.
Hell yes. Here we go.
So it's Mike and I against Nery.
No. This one's interesting. I, 33 female, have been dating my boyfriend, 38 male. So she's older. He's older than her for a year. They've been dating for a year. He has 2 kids. and 8 and 11-year-old boys, and I have none. We live in separate apartments. Even though we have been dating for a year, I only met the kids 5 months ago. The kids are great and well behaved. I really wanted to take it slow and give it some time before meeting the kids because I didn't want to spook them or me be spooked. I had a relationship in the past where kids were suddenly dumped on me, and I decided to set boundaries when it comes to dating men with kids. There have been a couple of times where my boyfriend has the kids and are on my side of town. What does that mean? What is side of town? Like, I don't even. He calls. He calls. And,
what is
You've
that?
seen the West Side Story.
No, but I mean, like, if you have a car, everything is side of town. Like, it's like, I don't know. It
You
just
want
feels
a
like
car?
I don't know. He calls and says, "Me and the boys are going to come to your apartment to hang out." In quotes. Every time I decline, citing the apartment is messy, but I'm busy. I don't feel well. Excuses. But in actuality, I don't want the kids hanging out at my apartment. Well, it happened again today. Boyfriend was on my side of town with the kids. They had some time to kill before going back to their mother, and BF calls me up and says he is bringing the kids over to hang at my place. I tell him that I will meet them at the park and we can hang there. No biggie. We all hang out at the park for a bit, drop the kids off at the mother's house, and me and my boyfriend go back to my place. Boyfriend says, I don't understand why the kids can't come over. Instead of giving excuses like usual, I just tell him, I don't want the kids in my apartment, in quotes. BF loses it and yells and cusses at me. Red flag. He said that me not wanting his kids at my apartment hurts his feelings. I get it, but these are my rules and my boundaries, and those are not my kids. Kids aren't invited or allowed in many public and private places, and that includes my apartment. This is my apartment, and I get to decide who is allowed in. Also, he always invites them over. He never asks my permission, which to me is disrespectful, rude, and inconsiderate. It's nothing against the kids. Like I said, they're great. I just don't want them in my apartment because I set personal boundaries. But my boyfriend feels that his kids are entitled to go wherever he is invited. That's not true. We were both upset, and I told him to leave. He said, and I'm sure he did, and I'm sure he's going to be pissy about it for days. He has ignored me for a fortnight before. Fortnight, okay.
2 weeks.
I get it. So I'm ready for judgment.
Okay.
Am I the asshole? I completely understand why boyfriend's feelings are hurt, but I'm uncomfortable with the thought of his kids being in my personal space, especially when I have only hung out with them a handful of times. The TLDR is boyfriend is mad that I won't allow his kids into my apartment because it makes me uncomfortable. I don't want them in my apartment because of personal boundaries. Boyfriend expects me to have the kids over simply because we are dating and the kids are an extension of him.
Not it.
Yolanda says, kid, that's why I had your dad fixed.
Yeah. It runs in the family, baby. Snip, snip. Snip, snip, gang. Snip, 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 snap, snip.
Snap.
Yeah, I will say there's a lot to unpack here. One of which is, why do you think it's tough because she hadn't met them for she met them 5 months ago. That's like 7 months of dating. If they've been together for a year, that's like a long time to not.
I think that's okay. I think that's a good thing though. Like taking it slow.
No, I'm just saying.
You don't want to introduce your kids to somebody who's going to be just a passing somebody that you just kind of occasionally see and casually see. You want to make sure
that guy.
Yeah, you want to make sure it's serious, and you want to make sure because then it's a situation with the kids. Like, where's this dude? Where's this chick? Am I gonna get to see? My brother-in-law was dating somebody for a couple of years while my daughter was 5 years old, and then like my daughter really took a liking to that girl. They broke up, and she would ask like, "Where's so and so? Where's so and so?" And we're like, "Oh, she's not around." Like you just have to find ways of telling kids like, "Oh, she's not around," whatever, blah 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 stuff there.
No, I get it. I mean,
I understand. I respect that. I respect the fact that they took a long time to finally meet. Like that, I respect, and I do agree.
That's the opposite with dogs. You get introduced to dogs on the first date, and if that dog don't like you, you're out. I've been that many
Also,
dog.
why would that dog not like you? What kind of a fucking human being are you that a dog
Some-
doesn't like you?
Well, I've gone out with, and this is just speaking for on the behalf of the girls that I've dated, where girls will tell me that their dogs don't like men, and I'm like, okay, and then I show up, and then it's like 50-50 whether or not they like anybody coming into the house. But I'm also a giant man, so I'm very aware of that when I meet new dogs, so I don't just like drop down and I'm like because I'm how like I don't do that.
You have a strategy.
Yeah, you approach. I respect the animal respects me. That's what kids are, basically, little animals, right? That's what they are. You just treat them like
You're not wrong.
Yeah,
Wrong.
you treat them like little animals.
I mean, they're harder to train.
Yeah, sure.
They're harder to train.
Once they learn the words that mean the commands, then they're good, right?
Yeah.
You train them, give them rewards with food and shit. Yeah, good.
Rewards with food and shelter. I'm okay. I like the fact that they took a long time to meet, and I will say this. I do think that the girl has a valid point about the guy never asking.
That is the big thing.
I think that's a big deal. I think that's a strong point from her point of view. Everything else I think she's wrong with, but I do think that that's a very strong point where she says he never asked, and that's a very strong point. Like
right.
you should be asking, hey, can we come over? Like, even if it wasn't your girlfriend, even if it wasn't your kid, even if it was just you, like if I'm dating a girl for
right,
a year,
yeah, that is a fair
your
point.
house, I would never assume and be like, hey, I'm going over. I'd be like, hey, can I come over? Do you want me to come over? Those are words you use in talking up to somebody about their living.
Yeah. Hey, I'm in the neighborhood.
Hey, I'm in the neighborhood. Do you want to meet up? Can I go over? Do you want to?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You want something like that? Do you want me to bring you some food? Can I go over? Stuff like that.
It seems like also
there are a million ways of asking somebody if you could go over their house, and this is not even including children. This is just you inviting yourself.
Yeah.
You gotta ask.
What do you think she's wrong about other than that?
I think the fact and again, I guess the phrase "wrong" is too harsh. I guess. Yeah. I think when you said red flag, I think a red flag for me is her not wanting the kids in her space, and the excuse to me, the excuse of, oh, I've only met them a handful of times. Well, whose fault is that?
Right.
Like,
yes, he's trying to do it, but he's just handling it wrong.
He's doing it wrong. I'm again conceding and saying, he should be asking, but whose fault is that? He's trying to fucking get you to hook up with the kids and meet the kids, and you keep making excuses. The place is messy. No, I'm sick. I'm tired.
That's the part that gets me, because the running theme with all of these "Am I the Assholes" is the communication is usually really passive aggressive or really like not present, and there's always someone like being slightly dishonest. That like if she wants to if she's dating this guy for a year, like sit down with the guy and be like, hey, I've had a past issue with kids. I feel uncomfortable with if they're like in my space. I'm more than happy to hang. No, she's talking about setting boundaries, but she never fucking set the boundaries. She's just lying.
She's just setting the boundaries with herself. She's not expressing those boundaries.
Exactly.
Like, there's no point of a fucking fence if nobody else can see it but you. Like, oh no, I have a fence. It's an invisible fence. Well, motherfucker, how am I supposed to know? You got to tell me. Take some comments here. Julie says, no. Don't date someone with kids if you're uncomfortable around them. Valid point. Vanessa says, I won't be introducing my kids to my boyfriends right away. I don't think you should. They're pretty awful children. Julie says, exactly, huge red flag. And Stephanie says, also comparing her apartment to a public space, like no one is asking you to build a McDonald's plane.
I feel like that's even less valid. Like, who gives a shit about public, private, whatever? This is my space, and I get to say who goes. But she's not doing that. She's just she's handling it situationally. And then I would be frustrated. Like, I wonder if he's ever been like, yo, do you want my kids to come to your house? Do you like my kids? And then she's like, no, I like them, man, whatever. And then it's like, okay. I think it's just that both of these people are bad, because both these people have trouble communicating. That's first. The part where she's like, boyfriend, when she was honest with the guy finally, and he's like, he loses it, he yells and cusses at me, and I'm like,
here, I heard you say red flag when you read that part.
Yeah.
And here's the thing: if you're violently yelling and cursing, I can understand why that's a red flag. Yeah. But if you go, what the fuck? That's fucked up. Really? You're not gonna fucking see my kids? Technically, I'm cursing at you.
Right.
Technically, I'm yelling. So I mean, really, is that really like fuck? I mean,
I
again,
don't know.
if
I
the
took
guy's
it as
getting
worse
violent,
than that, I guess.
yeah, you took it immediately as like he's violent, and I'm like, well, he's just
No, I didn't say violent. But she does say he loses it.
yeah.
And I think that's
He's
like
awfully quiet.
there's a difference between what you did and when someone's like, oh man, they lost it. You know what I mean? Like that lack of control. I feel like we're reading into what's there. It's there. Like those are the rules.
Yeah.
We're only going by what's written, and that's
Missy?
it. But I think that
Wait.
she.
Let me get Missy's thoughts. I
Oh,
wanna,
she got something.
no, she's just being real quiet, and I'm scared. Like a woman going just in the fucking corner, like, wait till I fucking go in.
No, I'm just letting you guys hash it out.
Me.
I think it kind of cuts both ways on this one. I think they're both kind of assholes. Because she should have, like, it's what you said, like, you can have boundaries, but if you don't state them, then you just know about them. The other person doesn't know about them. So like if you're fine with meeting the guy's kids, but you're not fine with your house being a hangout, like say that. And then that way you can talk about it. But then I think the guy's the asshole with just assuming that because she met them, then she's automatically cool with them using their house as a hangout or as a stop or whatever it is. So I don't know. I just think that I'm sure that it's complicated. And I don't know. I think it cuts both ways on this.
This is
specific case.
definitely everyone's the asshole here, right? Like,
Yeah.
Vanessa's saying that it's her house and her rules. She said that she's had other boyfriends dump their kids
But he's
on
not
her in
doing
the
that.
past.
He
Yeah,
might, if you give him the option, maybe he just starts treating, because
He might.
it does say he never plans to, like,
Well, that's
it's
the
not like
problem.
we're in the neighborhood, we're on my side of town or whatever. Like, that to me shows that he's just looking for something to do with these kids.
Correct.
Where he's like trying to, like, I don't know what to do with these kids anymore.
And
But that's an assumption I'm making.
that's a thing. Like I've been.
well, he literally said before killing time before he has to drop them back off at their mom's house.
Right.
At one
So
point he did say, hey, he's killing time. Like that's not an assumption. I'm fucking killing time. I got something, But here's why I disagree with Vanessa on this one. You're now putting past sins of somebody else's past sins on this guy.
That's a tricky balance, though.
And that's what you're doing. So I understand where you have to stand up for yourself and be like, hey, I don't want this to happen. But like we've been saying, stand up for yourself and say that. Set those boundaries and be like, hey, I'm okay with you guys coming over and I'm okay with you bringing the kids over or whatever it is. But I don't want it to be a thing where you're going to drop them off or you're going to assume that you can drop them off here. That's where, because all of a sudden, like, I'm not going to tell you anything and I'm not going to communicate anything because I had some guys in the past do this to me. Like, well, I didn't do this to you. What the fuck? Like that? Don't.
No, there is.
I love that.
Yeah,
like,
don't
I don't.
me.
I don't love it. I'm just saying that I find it fascinating when that comes up in relationships where like something that you didn't do is now your responsibility to fix. Yeah. Like that's what I was gonna say. That's like such a red flag, and like my spidey instincts are like run for your life because I'm my golden rule is like if I didn't cut you, don't bleed on me. So like if because something happened to you before, I don't intend to put my past trauma as a responsibility to my partner. So like because the boyfriend like just decided that you were a babysitter in the past, that doesn't mean that this guy is going to do that. He's may just be killing 20 minutes before he has to drop off the kids. Like take it at face value or have a conversation about it.
Well, the idea, so that's a tricky thing because I'm of two minds when it comes to that. That's like a big turmoil I have in relationships of like there's a difference between dumping something that somebody else did on the new partner versus learning what your boundaries really are and what you're willing to accept and not accept from a partner. You know what I mean? Like, like it's not necessarily that you're blaming your new partner for something your old partner did, but you also have to do the work of addressing those wounds too. You know what I mean? Like, you're still cut. So like, if that person's still cut and you're not willing to get a little blood on you, then what's up. You know what I mean? Like you gotta, if you're part of the healing process, you got cuts too that you're bleeding on other people with.
That's true. I don't disagree with that, but there's a difference between a scenario where you go, this has happened to me before, so XYZ might trigger something.
Sure.
That's
a different
that's
conversation.
a different conversation than saying, because my ex did this, you can't do that.
I don't think she told him that.
That's what I'm saying. There's a huge gap
Yeah.
of communication here.
Yeah.
Like if that's something
The
that I
theme-
feel like is unfair in relationships where either party does it. I think both genders are guilty of it. I'm not going to tell you which one I think is more guilty of it because I want to keep it
don't
friends.
be scared.
But I feel like there's a lot of times where communication can be super, super clear, but you're bullshitting and you're playing the games and you're like, oh, can you believe? And it's like, but did you talk to them? Like, did you tell them the XYZ? No, he should know. How is he supposed to know if you don't say anything?
The first person,
it's a trap. It's a trap.
The first person you need to communicate with is yourself. Hi, I'm Dr. Fraser.
Look, hold on. Let's get to some comments. Hold on.
Yeah.
Yolanda says she needs to stop doing the boyfriend thing and just go for FTW. I don't know what FTW means.
Friends with benefits, bro.
Oh, I've been out of the game for a while. I'm sorry.
No kidding. Since MySpace.
I'm sorry. It's true. I don't know why that's funny, but yeah,
it just struck me so funny. Because
Yeah.
today I just recorded the Endgame episode of My Contextualizes Universe, and we talked about the sweep of social media from the first Iron Man, where he's like, "Don't put this on your MySpace." And then now we were like, "Oh my god!" Just in the social media platforms alone, things have changed so much.
I think it's just funny because MySpace is analog.
Jeff says, "I'd rather take the kids to a dandy bear than her caca apartment." Vanessa and me and Missy will be voting for Yolanda 2024.
Correct.
And Stephanie says, no, it's fine for her to have rules for her apartment. I just feel like her reasoning of, quote, lots of kids don't let kids in.
Lots of places. I think she
lots
says
of places don't let kids in is
is
bullshit. Yeah. Just because you don't want it, then then stop, own it.
Own your shit.
I think
like
also
I said,
oh.
Am I the asshole wouldn't exist if people knew how to communicate.
That's interesting.
Yeah, because what happens is that when someone's an asshole if they communicate to you as assholishly. You know what I mean? Like the whole idea of her, she's not really like. There's a lot of things people do when they get into relationships, especially if they don't want to be alone. That they won't be honest with themselves first. Oh no, this isn't going to work. I'm just going to hang around for 6 months, and then it'll just end when we hate the fuck out of
in a murder suicide.
Yeah. It's like there's a Dane Cook bit about that where let's just stay together. Where he's like, yeah, let's just stay together for 3 years and then till this thing ends violently or whatever, something like that. And that's the kind of that's the kind of shit. I always just say that I forgot where I heard it, but a successful relationship is one that ends when it should. You know what I mean? So you're not like dragging it out, and then if it shouldn't end, you're still in it. You know what I mean? That kind of thing. So the fact that these people should clearly not be dating, if their lives don't match, who cares how much of you know what I mean? There's one thing about being attracted to somebody, but dating for an extended period of time to commit to somebody for a long-term relationship, your lives also have to intersect as much as your attraction does. Correct. You know what I mean?
Because attraction fade, not the attraction, but the first year. The first year, I would say, is the honeymoon of all the faces.
Watch the door open. You're like,
murder. I feel like the first year is always the honeymoon of relationships, and then it gets real afterwards.
6 months, baby. I'm in and out. I know about you. I know what you're up to. I know what you're about.
So I just feel like I think 6 months is I don't know. What the fuck?
It's New York, man. Everything goes faster here.
What the fuck does that mean?
I don't know.
Shit ever.
That's what people say.
One place I would say is I've hung around enough crew members that work on cruise ships to know that's an accelerated relationship.
Oh my god!
Because you work, live, and fucking do everything on the same confined space. Yeah. What were you saying, Missy? I'm sorry to cut you off.
I forgot.
Oh, that's good. Stephanie says this guy should ask permission for sure, but putting a huge barrier in front of kids because of past relationships isn't fair to them either.
It's part of the thing. Does
you know what you're getting into?
Yeah, if kids are involved at this stage, you just have to expect. I would be more surprised if I went on a date with a guy who didn't have kids at 38 than if he didn't. You know what I mean? Like if you're playing the odds, like
Well, that's
We're-
why I was saying. Like that's what I was saying. Like
at least in Miami, things work differently in New York.
We're Latino. That's been the case since we're 21, man.
Well,
It doesn't matter.
and that's what my question has been for a long time. Like my question when she first posted this, I was like, dude, you're 33 and 34. Are you really expecting to date somebody at your
I'm
own
not.
age appropriate?
He's 38.
Right.
Yeah.
You're fucking.
But even you, like she's 33. Who's she thinking that she's gonna date?
But that's what I'm saying. If she would have communicated, if like I'm all for boundaries. I love boundaries, but I feel like a good portion of upholding the boundaries is opening your mouth and saying like this is a hard no or this is a hard yes. So like if you have a problem or if it causes you some kind of feeling that he keeps coming over with his kids, then have a conversation about it. But if you're going to let it escalate to the point where you're just going to blurt it out, like I don't know that she said that. I'm just saying like don't fucking bring your kids over here. Like if that was a version of the conversation, then yeah, he should be like what the fuck? And like don't get mad that he's cursing at you because you just waited fucking 6 months before you like let him know of something that's been building. And that's I think a big mistake that people make in relationships is that out the gate I'm not saying that you should be aggressive about it, but communication can be something that's very docile and very peaceful and very chill. So, but it only becomes a problem if you let it fucking escalate to a point where you're 6 months in and then you go, I fucking hate your kids. And then of course he's going to be like, what the fuck?
Now
you know what I mean?
I'm picturing Missy on a date where she's like, so what do you do for a living? He's like, oh, well, I do this and I have 2 kids. And then she's like,
that's not why.
But like, she get the fuck out of here. Fuck you and fuck this and flipping it.
You would have that's not it.
No.
I'm a kid. You crazy. You did not. Do we have another? We have time for one more. Do we have another?
Let's make it a good one. I want to fight. We haven't fought today, guys. This is weird.
We haven't. I will go and do this one that's trending.
I gotta say, I was a little surprised that Mike did not fight me. I thought that Mike was gonna be because we have the different perspectives of somebody with a kid and somebody without a kid.
Not dead inside.
No,
what do you mean?
I thought that this one was gonna be more of a like, no, it's her fucking place. Get the fuck out of here. I don't want kids in my place either. Like I thought it was gonna be more of a hard stance.
Remember when I said we hadn't fought?
No. The reason why, look, I'm gonna agree with you whether you fucking like it or not, you piece of shit.
He was cursing at me, guys. He was cursing at me.
He was yelling and cursing.
If cursing makes you mad, like, come on.
Yeah, no.
You haven't been through anything in life if cursing makes you right.
I will say this though. For the first like 2 years of my relationship with my now wife, whenever we would get into arguments, I would not allow any cursing between anybody.
Wow.
I would not. I would be like, hey, don't curse.
Fair.
I would say don't. And for the first 2 years, I was like, don't curse at me, because we express our ways without. And it was like 2 years of that.
Really
and after that, you finally move in together, and you go,
I'm writing that down.
But we would.
That's a valid.
And this is the first, and this is the only relationship I've ever done that with. It's the only relationship. I don't know where I got that from. I don't know where, but I was just like, hey, we can have an argument.
Just use it on the next one and the one after that. I mean, it should be fine.
Yeah, and I don't even care about yelling. I told her, I go, you can yell all you want. Just first of all, I'd rather you not yell. But the cursing, because you take it differently.
Point.
That is a really good.
You take it differently.
I'm gonna put that on my Hinge profile tonight.
Damn, Nery, that's a good fucking strategy, because you don't want to say things out of triggering anger.
Because you could say like, "Hey, what the hell's wrong with you?" Right? But that when you're in the heat of the moment, when you say, "Hey, what the fuck is wrong with you?" You go, "Whoa!"
Yeah.
That's violent. Not violent, yeah.
No, but immediately puts the defenses up. Yeah,
and immediately goes, oh no, now it's fucking on, and here we go, and makes you kind of. And it was like 2 years. I want to say, I hope she chimes in, but I want to say it was like at least 2 years. It was maybe a little more, but it was like 2 years. And I don't know where, like, it just dissipated. I don't know where, like.
I want her comment to be. I want her comment to be, no, it was 3 years, you fucking idiot. You know,
you dumb motherfucker,
you stupid piece of shit. No, I agree. Here's the reason why. Look, I get that my idea of children and not having children is not the mainstream. It's not the norm.
No, that's not what I meant. I didn't mean
But
that. I just meant
hold
that
on.
because we're coming from two different places.
Yeah.
I was not referencing or commenting on which one is right or which one is wrong.
I wasn't going to say that either.
It was just
it was that in the reading of it, when I first read it, when you sent it, because you don't read these. When I read it, once I got to where like the middle point of where she's like not telling him or she's coming up with excuses, that's when I'm like, oh, he is not responsible for your thoughts. He's responsible for the words that you communicate to him. And when you said that thing about the boundaries being expressed, that's when I'm like 100%. Yeah, she can choose whether or not she wants to have kids. It's her house, whatever. But the fact that she's not telling him the truth and hasn't told him for months, who knows how many times that guy earlier on was like, hey, I'd love to bring my kids over, and then she's like, change the subject, like, and not being honest with herself that this is
squirrel.
Yeah.
But don't you think, well, now that you brought it up, couldn't there have been, I mean, could have, would have, but couldn't there have been signs from the beginning that she was not into it? Like the kid thing?
I mean, guys do dumb shit too to try and get with pretending to be whoever. Like people lie about shit all the time to get with a girl. So it's like,
but she literally had a fucking street sign on her door that said "No kids allowed."
Yeah.
What's the trending one? What's the trending one?
Here we go.
Wait. Before we get into it, Vanessa wants us to fight. Stephanie says for sure, fuck this quickly turns into fuck this quickly turns into fuck you if you're not careful.
Yeah.
And then Vanessa says off topic, Mike is giving me Freddie Mercury vibes with his look today.
That's the second person who said that, who posted that. I'll take it. Freddie Mercury, sure, why not? He's a hero.
Have you ever seen
the musical legend?
Have you ever seen the side-by-side YouTube video?
Yeah, what? You gotta watch a side-by-side of the movie Bohemian Rhapsody, of the performance at Live Aid and the actual performance at Live Aid.
I think I've seen it, the real one.
It's I
love that scene. That movie is like fine, but because of all the music.
Hit me up with the trending one. Where
okay, all right, we got it. We're gonna right now. All right. Am I the asshole for calling the police on my husband? My husband's car doesn't work and he needs money to get it fixed. He doesn't have enough money. I'm in medicine school and have been getting ready for my exams for a month now. Every month, he and his friends go on a road trip. His car's been sitting in the garage for 3 months now. He asked if he could take my car to take the guys on the road trip since it was his turn to take them. I told him I need the car since I have a weak immune system and public transportation might be risky. I mean, it is COVID. And I can't afford to get sick in the middle of my exams. He begged, saying his friends are going to say he ruined the trip, and our discussion got nowhere. The trip was last week. I had an exam the day of the trip and left at 8 a.m. I had several things to do. I stopped by the coffee shop to use the internet. I arrived at the university at 8:30 and entered the hall getting ready for my exam. After I finished, I spent a few minutes with my friends and then I left. I got to the parking lot and my car wasn't there.
The fucking car.
I started freaking out, thinking I might have left the door open or something. I called my husband and he didn't pick up. My friends immediately told me to call the police. I ended up waiting for them to ask me about what happened. The officer said I needed to come to the station to give my statement. I stayed there for 4 hours. Then I was told my car was found. My husband was driving it and was picked up an hour away from where we live. I was shocked and mad. It never occurred to me that he was the one who took it. I went home and waited till he got back. He was upset and didn't want to talk about what he did. The argument started after he said he made a copy of the key and didn't take till he made sure I arrived he didn't take the car until he was sure I arrived for my exam. I yelled at him and told him it was not okay. He caused me to stress out and worry about the car. He told me calling the police was drastic and shouldn't have gotten them involved, but I had no idea he took the car. He said he wanted to text me but forgot.
Shut the fuck up.
Said the trip was ruined and he was embarrassed by being picked up by the police while he was with his friends. He still thinks calling the police was an over the top reaction. But what was I supposed to do? Am I the asshole?
Yes.
Yeah.
We're not gonna fight today. Wow, how boring.
I don't know. This is the trending one.
Is she the asshole for calling the? I'm sorry. Is she the asshole for calling the cops?
No.
No, she thought her car was stolen.
Right, because you said both of you said yes. She goes. You said you finished, Mike. You finished reading the thing. You said, "Am I the asshole?" And then immediately Missy said yes, and you go, "Yeah." And I was like, "Wait, what?"
Oh no, I was saying
at a loss. I was like, "Wait, what now?"
no, I was saying
No.
yeah, in terms of like yeah, okay, here we go. Yeah, no, I mean, first of all, I love the idea that he's like, I got a copy of the key made. I didn't tell you about it. You know what I mean? Like
so
that's
fucking
wild.
Stupid.
Well, first of all, you're married. Why do you? Shouldn't you already have a copy of the key? Why do you need to have? I don't. That doesn't make any sense to me. There's a car. Both of you have a fucking copy of the key. It only make you're married. This
Well,
is
he has his car that apparently is not working. I
right.
guess.
I mean, she didn't specify that either. But
No.
obviously, this is from
He
a different.
thought the
Like,
car was stolen.
Yeah, like
I'm
oh, hey,
totally with. I'm
she
totally
straight
with
up
her.
stole the car.
I'm totally with her. She should have called the cops. My question is about the making. I'm like, now it's. I think the main question is so obvious, one sided that I'm like, now I'm just nitpicking out of this shit. I'm like, why don't you have the key already? Like,
I'm agreeing with you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, I don't understand why you don't have a copy of the key already. You should have a copy of the key.
That's again not necessarily the main point.
Oh,
it's a point, but not the main.
That's not the again because this is so one sided.
Yeah.
That this is like who the fuck is saying? Is there anybody who's saying that she is the asshole? Like who's saying like what's that argument like?
Her sister, her friends.
No, but the
Comiendo mierda.
no, but the way
no, did she pass her exam?
Good question.
Jeffrey
I mean,
with all the
I hope
good
she
questions.
did. When she's in medicine school.
English is clearly not the first language.
I know.
She's
I
not
thought
the
that was
asshole.
No.
Stephanie says, ask someone who should have called the cops on a boyfriend.
I fucking love her so much.
For our long-time listeners, if you know, you know. So I read that wrong. Let me for the audio listeners, let me read that correctly. Stephanie basically chimed in and said, as someone who should have called the cops on a boyfriend taking my car, she's not the asshole. If you know, you know. Yolanda says she's not the asshole. He needs to fix his fucking car.
Yeah.
Yolanda, I love you, but not everybody's married to a mechanic. So maybe there's the money.
No.
Maybe she's married to a master mechanic. So saying, "Oh, get the car fixed" is a lot easier for some people than it is to like, "Hey, that cost me money."
I'm not married to a mechanic, and I would say get the fucking car fixed. Like I don't see.
Or man, hey, looks like you're not going on that trip. You got to get somebody else to drive.
Or rent a fucking car. How about there's 4 of you? Rent a fucking car between the 4 of you, assholes.
I wonder if this is not in the U.S. I would imagine it's not in the U.S.
I think it is in the U.S. because she said he was at the university. And then said Peach Yolanda. Also, if your car is broken, just have one of your friends drive.
Yeah. There's a lot of holes in this guy's story, is what we're coming to.
Look, it's been enough time that I don't care about this tea, and I have plenty to spare.
Why can't she come on?
She can.
Yeah,
you should petition to have her come on next week.
Next week. Well, I want to say hi to her right now. Hold on. Stephanie, I'm sending you a link on Facebook Messenger. So here's the thing. I've sent her links before, and then sometimes she's like, "I'm at the park." I'm like, "Okay, well."
It is daytime over there now.
Yeah. So I sent her a link before. I sent her a link for episode 300.
That's why I said next week so she can schedule it.
When we do our scheduling, we should schedule.
We should do WuBro Wednesday. Every Wednesday should be reserved for WuBro.
I like WuBro. I used to say.
I remember. You
remember? I used to release it on Wednesdays, every Wednesday.
Every Wednesday, and that was just because you were taking your sweet time to fucking edit.
Okay.
I remember one time, Mike. Do you remember this? One time you edited. We recorded an episode, and Mike used to do all the editing. So we would record at my house. He would take all of the equipment home with him, and then he would edit it. And one time he got really fucking sick. Like we recorded on Thursday or something. I don't remember when we recorded. He got really fucking sick. And then it was like Wednesday morning, and I was like, "Hey, so is it gonna come out?" And you're like, "Oh, I'm sorry, I've just been really sick." And I'm like, So
Yeah, I had like food poisoning.
yeah,
I
so
had food poisoning because
Hey!
Baby. Hi, little
Stephanie,
what's up?
turn your phone sideways.
Sorry. All right. So
Yeah,
this little man here has been napping and watching the show.
Oh, babe.
we
That's-
put him to sleep. That's how boring we are.
That's our target audience.
Yeah.
For some
Sleeping
reason,
babies.
he finds like rowdiness soothing.
He finds
and that he's got the right mom.
Yeah.
The right mom.
No, I think he's used to it because like I'm the loudest person in Australia. So
how is it over there? You're locked down.
yeah. Oh God, I look like shit.
No,
Right,
you look
mother-
amazing.
No, you look
You
accomplished.
look amazing.
Did you say accomplished?
Yeah, that's a running joke. That's an inside joke that we have together. She looks accomplished.
yeah. So we're in day 3 of our snap lockdown.
Why is it called Snap Lockdown? What's that? That's news. I've
Because
never.
literally it's just 3 days long. Because it's just 3 days long, and then we lift it if enough stuff has gotten fixed. I feel like
those
I'm
4
giving
people-
you guys.
If those
It
4
sounds
people
like-
are done.
Sounds like they have a plan. Like they actually
They do.
plan
They have a
things.
plan. Everyone goes along with it. We've all been wearing masks anytime we go outside to exercise. But other than that, it's kind of been
Does the baby wear a mask?
no. The baby doesn't have to wear a mask.
Yeah,
Anyone?
I don't know what the rules are for babies in different countries.
He's so cute, though. Look at him.
The baby wears a full hood. Wears a full scuba helmet.
Like
No, I haven't been
that's
to
the
pram.
screen,
If
like
anyone
a
gets
sad
near
screen.
us, I just glare, and they get scared
Nice.
because they're not used to people giving them faces. I'm just like, fucking.
Are the Aussie people the Floridians of the world?
No.
Nah.
Are they? Because you always hear about Australia being like
Australia has their shit together, man.
Now,
and
because they
now.
were an island full of fucking criminals before.
What?
That's
No,
just like
but-
the only thing Americans have to latch
Australia
onto.
has the potential of being Florida of the world, but let's face it, the U.S. is still the Florida of the world.
Yes,
Like,
the
that's
U.S.
been
is the Florida of the
That's been
world.
confirmed several
Yeah.
times over,
Confirmed.
So there's that. But no, Australia is kind of like
I,
no. I would say it's still southern. Maybe Texas. Maybe it's Texas. of the
I
world.
described it as like if the United States was built like was planned as a European country. You know what I mean? Like the cities feel European, but it's like wide open. Like
Well, yeah,
know,
you'll
it's-
see that because there's so much British influence.
right. So if that's what I would say. Like it feels like American Europe or like Europe World in American Disney like a theme park or something. Like it feels like a mix of like like there's like SUVs and like utes there, and there's like
Yeah.
there's like people got trucks and shit like that, and there's the whole
Yeah.
middle of the country is
is-
the fucking
Look,
Wild
so
West.
a lot of Australia is very, I would say, country, kind of like it has that country vibe.
Rural.
I live in a metropolitan city, so I'm
Yeah,
pretty,
yeah.
pretty lucky because I don't usually mix with that vibe. But the people here are so laid back. It's kind of like everyone has that country vibe, but everyone has like the Michigan attitude. So they're just so damn nice.
Oh, interesting.
You know?
Stephanie and I were in Sydney, and we took a cab ride with this guy who let his views very much known to us, and it got awkward really, really flipping quick. We were like in the back of an Uber, and this guy was talking about, "Oh, where are you guys from?" I told him I'm from the States and blah blah, I'm visiting. And then he was like, "Oh," and he was, I forget specifically. Do you remember, Stephanie, specifically what he said? But I remember he said something, and we both kind of like, "Oh,
Like,
okay."
okay.
I
Okay.
think this
And then
was
he-
like the first time
and
you
then-
and I actually came across someone who's just like, "Oh fuck the States."
Yeah. We were
Guys,
just like,
you guys are
and then
in
he,
trouble.
and then he
you guys
was
are
like, "Yeah,
trapped."
they're fucking and they're crazy with it." And I'm like, "Yeah." And then he just kept on, and we were like, "Well, where do we go from here, psycho? Like, I got nowhere to fucking like. I can't. There's no. You didn't give me any leeway of any." I'm
Yeah.
like,
Your
"Okay."
country's a piece of shit.
Yeah.
Thank
was,
you.
Yeah, it was Sydney.
Look at my
we came
phone
across
now,
that in
and we have
Sydney.
conversations.
But he was talking about. He was political. He was talking about our president and blah blah. And at that time, I was like, "No lies detected. Continue."
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it was just so. I don't want to say aggressive because it wasn't aggressive for Miami standards, but it was definitely aggressive for
Australian
Australia
standards.
For Australia standards, it was very aggressive. And I remember thinking to myself, like, "Yo, dude, are you trying to be aggressive right now? Like, I'm from
Yeah.
Miami, homie. Like, you don't
Yeah.
fucking know." But I was just like,
Oops,
okay.
One moment.
Oh.
One moment. time. Okay, I'm sorry. He wants to be sit up. There we go.
He wants to be on camera.
He wants to be on camera, apparently.
He's so cute.
Yeah. That's adorable.
Yeah, no, that was
Crikey.
pretty aggressive for Australia standards. But like now, whenever I talk to Uber drivers, lately for some reason I've had a lot of people asking me if I'm Canadian. I think it's
That's a
because I smile.
compliment.
Or it's like
I don't think you're that nice.
how much of the accent sneaks into your daily conversation now?
Yeah, I do think my accent is slowly changing.
It's a mixed thing. Like
You text me when she writes the word favorite, she uses the word, she puts it with a U.
My phone
The you.
autocorrect.
Yeah, but you could change that.
What
You
a
have the option
traitor.
That's
Change that.
That's such a pain in the ass. I am not.
Pain in the ass. You go into settings and choose keyboard and choose language US. Crazy.
I'm not that
pain in the
attached.
ass.
I'm not that attached.
She has to blend in also. Relax.
No, yeah. I know.
Oh, is she using color with a U and flavor with a U?
Correct.
Yes.
Yes.
Gross.
Yes.
Gross.
What the fuck?
You know what?
No.
Gross with a
I'm
U.
not used to it.
Gross with a U.
That's the name of this episode. Gross with a U. Jeff wants to know if the Uber driver was talking about how he stole his wife's car.
That would be great if you're on like a Uber drive home and the cops pull you over and it's like, yeah, he stole this car.
I've been in the Uber when the Uber got into a car accident, and I've been there.
Oh,
I've been
yeah.
in that situation where I'm like, oh, dude, it was totally your fault. Like it was totally. I'm not gonna say shit. I'm not gonna rate you, but
Like, I'm not
it
gonna
was your
lie.
fault.
Like lately, whenever I'm in the car with Uber drivers and I mention that I used to live in the States, or they ask me like where I'm from, the chit chat, it always feels a little bit like the U.S. is seen as getting out of a bad relationship, and everyone always talks to me like, "How are you doing?
Like,
How's it going?
Oh,
Like, how's it
pobrecita.
been going over there? Feeling better?"
You want to talk about it? You want to talk? You're not alone. You're not alone.
Yeah.
Vanessa says that Steph did say pram earlier instead of
Yes.
stroller.
I caught myself as I said it. I was like, "Oh shit! I thought I got away with it."
No. It's funny because when you said that, I was like, I don't know what the fuck that means. Like, I didn't know what that meant. Like, I didn't know it was a substitution, and I was like, I don't know what that means,
Man.
But you know what? There are certain words I had this conversation with Stephanie years ago when I was in Australia. There's certain words that I could see, like when I'm in their place. Like when I was in Australia, I called it a lift. I'm like, yeah, it's a lift. I'm like, I'm fine. Like, I'm not gonna be that guy and be like, it's an elevator, guys. I was like, yeah, it's a lift. I get it. It makes sense.
I was in a Lyft car, because that's also a thing here, where the driver was driving so aggressively and chasing down another guy, where I was in the back like, hey, you're taking me somewhere. Leave that guy alone.
This isn't about him anymore.
Like, yeah. I was like, hey, I'm still in the car. You're still on a ride. Yeah. Like, drop me off.
You're an accessory now, buddy. You fucking deal with it. You're an accessory.
I sound much tougher now as I'm telling you the story in the car. At the moment, I was probably like, "Hey, I'm still here, please."
That awkward thing of like,
I want to live. I want to live, please, God, I want to live. Like that was Mike.
Just like holding onto the oh shit bar in the back, and
you're it's like so high. Hey, that guy's not on the way, right? Like we're good, right? Like. Right, yes. He understands me.
He gets it. He gets it. Anyways, Steph, we gotta schedule this for next Wednesday. So
we do.
Wednesday,
yes.
I don't know.
Let's schedule something in so that way I'm not just like doing the documentary hold of like.
Yeah, we'll get you a ring light and everything.
Yeah. So next Wednesday it would be 11 a.m. your time. Is when we start. That's when we start.
I'm scheduling it. Sending the invite.
So thank you guys for checking us out. We're gonna end it here because we got shit to do. But thank you guys for checking us out. Make sure you check out Mike. Mike, you gonna be anywhere this weekend?
I'm gonna be working in my fucking house. Huh?
Is comedy still happening in New York?
It's starting to. It has been happening illegally. It's happening in other places. And the guy from Stand Up New York is a weirdo. And
but shit. He's still. Vanessa just reminded me that she said, Nery, you can't record next Wednesday. Apparently, we're having a baby next Wednesday. So I kind of forgot that. we have previously scheduled plans.
A birth.
Oh, man.
I mean, already this kid is causing me to lose. Already, this baby's causing me to lose. Time.
Good on her to remind you publicly. Like she could have texted it to you, but she was like, "Fuck that."
But here's the thing. This is the greatest thing about this is what I'm being honest, and Stephanie would know because she was a longtime co-host of this podcast. She could confirm this, and I really love when people go, "Hey, Nery can't make the podcast. Doesn't mean the podcast has to stop fucking happening." I'm totally fine with that shit. I'm like, dude,
That's true.
fucking take the
I can
reins
step
and
in
go.
for you.
I've never been that guy is like, well, there's no WuBro without Nery. I'm like, no, I can't do it. I'm on a cruise ship. Please, God, somebody else do this. I would rather the show go on without me than fucking have to wait for me. So I have
Vanessa has a stage now. She can publicly shame you.
That's not even shameful. I'm like, oh shit, my bad. Anyways, the WuBro will be up next Wednesday. I won't be a part of it because I'll be having a movie.
Definitely. Actually, we just put up a new thing behind the Patreon for Missing Sock, Dungeons and Dragons show that we're playing. That it's this new series we're doing, and it's behind the Patreon wall. And there's like a bunch of stuff there, like Kirk Battle, who's one of the guys on our network. He's an author and he's written a bunch of books. Cthulhu in the Deep South. It's like a H.P. Lovecraft if he wasn't a super fucking racist. It's really good, but he wrote a whole
show. Did you see the show on HBO?
No, but it's like
fucking wild, bro.
I gotta watch it. But but there's a new episode of that up there, and then you can always at patreon.com/missingsock, and then you can just go to Mike Contextualizes the Universe. We just recorded Endgame today, dropped it today. It should be up tomorrow. We finally got to Endgame. It was a good episode, so go listen to it.
I will be at the Miami Improv starting from tomorrow, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. So tomorrow, but if you're listening to this on the audio version, it's already passed. But if you're watching us live, or watching us within April 1st through the 3rd, I will be at the Miami Improv with none other than Jim Brewer. So make sure you guys check that out. I look forward to working with him again. It's been a while. And that's it. Go to geekbro.net. Check out the other podcasts on the Geekbro Network, including
Missy Wrights.
I'm gonna get there. Childlike at Best with Mike Valdez. Better Let Me Tell You, the Mount Geekmore podcast, and other podcasts. So make sure you go to geekbro.net. Missy's writing. Missy's a writer, so she'll make sure to go missywrites.com. And her handle on Instagram and Twitter is at Missy the Writer. It's on the screen as you can see it right now. Stephanie's photography, if you're ever in Brisbane, or you want to fucking pay for her to come to your fucking neck of the woods, she's vaccinated. So make sure you guys go check out. What's your website now? Because I know you changed.
My website right now is non-existent because of birth and having a child, but it will come back up. I am online under hello_my dear Watson, and that's what the company's name is. And
hello
then everyone else on that
my dear Watson.
Hello, my dear Watson.
So make sure you guys check it out. She's a fantastic photographer, and I'm not just saying that.
It's Watson with a U. No, I'm just kidding. It's not. It's not. It's not.
I'm not just saying that she's a great photographer because she's a friend of mine. I'm saying that she has taken amazing photographs of my family and never given them to me. So,
I don't know where things are. I have given you things.
I'm not saying you've never given me photos. I'm saying that you've taken photos of my family that I've never seen.
I take pictures just for the hell of it sometimes, and then I forget to do this.
Yeah. So, anyways, thank you guys for checking us out. That's how winning is done.
We're still